Hello and welcome back to The Pursuit. My name is Josue Peralta here, joined by my sister Abby. Doc, do you remember Valentine's Day? I went to church with you, and Mom was there too, interestingly enough. They had a potluck. So we ran into who, off camera, I told you that I was like, she's looking kind of cute, you know, just like a low key. She was like, hey, I was like, how are you? And she's like, hey, I said, I don't remember your name. I just know that you're the podcast guy.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was like, oh, I guess that's what a lot of people know me as, specifically that are related to Wakanda and with the Wisconsin Conference in general, or just anybody tied to Zach Payne knows me as the podcast guy.
And I'm known as Dr. Abby.
Dr. Abby Peralta. As you're affectionately known in different places. So I want to talk a little bit about identity and kind of what, like how we've built it up to this point, and also how starting over in your 30s looks like and how that kind of affects it. I think that like once you're hitting our age, I mean, obviously we're not young anymore. We're not spring chickens. But also the fact, like who we are now and who people know us as is a product of all the choices that we made in our 20s that took us to here. Now, it's not like we made those choices consciously to be like, well, when I'm 30 years old, I want to be remembered as
the
blah, 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 as the podcast guy. But it just kind of so happened that way. How would you say people see you? Like what is Myrna or Abby known for? Abby is the what guy?
I don't know. I've never had a moment or like, I don't know your name, but you're this. People like know that I do lots of community service. I know at church, some people just relate human concerns to me.
Yeah. Because you're so good at it.
Yeah, and like organizing stuff. But I guess I don't really.
You don't have a thing?
I don't really have a thing.
Interestingly,
I'm not cognizant of it.
I think you're wrong just from this perspective that we are different things for different people.
Yes, I agree that 100%.
So in the English side of things, I'm the podcast guy.
Yeah.
But on the Spanish side of things, if I go to any small church, you're the guy who preaches. You're Pastor Peralta who comes to my church and preaches.
Yeah.
Or to the churches we all know, I'm the guy who produces video, or just the jovial, happy-go-lucky guy who's been there all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I would say in the Spanish churches, I'm known for a lot, like in the women's ministry. A lot of people think I'm a psychologist.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Like that I'm like a speaker. I mean, I speak a lot at women's events.
Yeah.
So I'm known more for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess I never thought about it. Just I guess whole big picture, I'm like, it's too big. So like I just thought about that. Like,
no, that's fair. Who do you say you are?
Who do I say I am?
Yeah.
I say I am a child of God. I love to serve.
Okay.
That's my thing. And I like being a mentor.
That's interesting. What do you expand on that a little bit?
Like I like building people up. And it's just something that comes natural to me. I'm not gonna say I know myself fully, and my identity's still developing. Like even when it comes to just talents, sometimes I just struggle with identifying my own.
Really? Okay.
Just because of like, self-doubt and nah, that's really not it, like all that. So like I've struggled with that. So I work with that actively, but that's why I say I'm a child of God, because like that's my identity.
That's fair.
But I've noticed that something like that I really love to do is I love giving advice to people, life advice of like, well, maybe you should try this. Like, you're really good at it. It's just interesting how a lot of the times people that are good at giving other people advice sometimes are just like so bad at seeing it for themselves. Or at least that's in my life. So like I like giving people career advice. So I've thought about more recently, maybe that'll be my future one day, like giving advice Like, if younger people, it's like maybe where you could go, what you could do, just
Yeah.
being a guide.
Why not?
But I see myself a lot of the times like an Andrew, like behind the scenes.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I will build you up.
Are
Like,
you cool being behind the scenes?
I am.
Do you prefer it?
I can do both.
You can do both.
I can do both, but it's not like I need to be up front.
Mm-hmm.
I can be behind the scenes and I can watch you shine.
Mm-hmm.
But if I need to be the spokesperson or like, I told you about how wanted me to be the honorary member of choir,
Oh, yeah.
to be the
The firer in chief?
yeah, the fire in chief.
No, the enforcer. That's it.
Yeah, to be the enforcer. So it's like I can do that too. I mean, you've known me all my life. Like I'm very mandona. I can be. So
Bossy.
yeah, I can be very bossy, but at the same time, like I'm cool being behind the scenes.
That's fair. For me, how do I see myself? Honestly, I mean, I wrote this question down, but I didn't really think about it myself. I would say,
It's a really big question.
yeah.
It's like, what is life?
Okay, here's what I have thought of. I'm really good at taking an idea and taking it to the next level.
There you go.
I'm a catalyst for a lot of things, and I can, like, if I see a good idea, I can expand on it and make it better. And number two, like I told you and Mom on Valentine's Day, which is coincidentally, I'm best at solving problems with finite or definite solutions.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm in a creative space,
Yeah.
so it's kind of discongruent to who I am.
Yeah.
But I like my space, I guess, and it's very strange and weird to kind of have that mentality of like, oh, I'm really good at finding the answers, like in a
math
pedantic, like a scholastic setting. But now, when it comes to being creative and finding out stuff like that, you'll notice I take a very structured approach to it anyway, because that's just how I'm wired.
Mm-hmm.
So like even my creative pursuits, like when it comes to video, I don't know, this is what I tell myself, and I tell people I'm not creative at all. I feel like I'm not creative at all, like, because I just see things and I just aggregate it and kind of synthesize it, I guess, in my head, and be like, okay, well, if I do X, Y, and Z, if I can mimic this, it will look creative. But it's more like in a robotic sense, not like oh wow, I tried this shot and it looks amazing because
Yeah.
it just felt right.
I think a lot of the time creativity, the word is like overblown. I think to be able to be creative, you have to master the basics, which is a lot of the things that we sometimes want to jump over, right? Any good writer has to master how it is, the basics of spelling, of what it is. Like,
For example, you never start a sentence with the word "and."
exactly.
That's what they teach you.
That's what they teach you.
But that's not really how it works in the higher levels.
Exactly. But you have a purpose behind it.
Right.
But you have the solid foundation.
Right.
Because, like, I'll never forget, you know how the Taylor Swift Eras tour was a whole success or whatever? She mentioned, she's like, I want to be so practiced out that I can go out there and I can do the show pretty much in my sleep. She has it so memorized that she knows what to do instinctively, and then that gives her space to be present. And if she wants to do something new, she can, because she
I like
knows the
that.
whole thing.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that's the whole creativity. There's an aspect to structure that is needed in order to be able to, if something comes on the spot, you can do it. You can maneuver it because you got the rest under control.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I've been thinking about this whole idea of identity since I decided to pivot my career in January.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this is kind of like a marketing principle that I learned. I don't remember how I learned it, but
Yeah,
this,
don't you
this
have a
is how I
bachelor's
started.
in marketing?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Maybe
So-
that's how you learned it?
Maybe. The whole idea that, I've been producing video for years. I've been doing this podcast for years now, but I've been doing websites for longer. However, when I tell people what I do, I only say I'm a web designer. That's all I say, because people can't remember 5 or 6 different things and don't really care that you can do 5, 6, 7, or 8 different things. So I just say the one thing, the most, basic baseline thing, and that was that. But now that that's changing, now I have to find a new slot, a new, identity to pop in there, so that, again, I'm not, it's not per se that I'm marketing myself, although I am technically with my business, but, that kind of whole idea now applied to my life of being Josue is X now, is under, negotiation at this point in time. So
but then isn't that kind of, because you're tying your whole identity to your career?
As guys, that's pretty standard. Yeah.
I know it's standard, but don't you guys have to learn out of that?
As opposed to what?
Because, for example, if everything is taken away from you, like you've experienced, for example, like career, you're moving, like changing, like all this stuff, like you're still a person. Like your identity is not lost.
I mean, Josue is not lost, but Josue as X is different. I mean, it's never lost, but it just changes.
Yeah, but it's like your identity is not gone.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, the way I'm hearing you speak, it's like now I have to find a new thing, and it's just kind of like your career is not your identity. It's not who you are as a person. Like, people can get to know you for who you are as a person. They don't have to get to know you for who you are as your job.
Well, I don't think that that's up for negotiation in terms of, like, me being nice, cordial, friendly. I invest in people like you do. Yeah. I don't think that's up for negotiation, so I never talk about it. That's just the baseline operating system, the kernel of it, what Josue as a web designer is built on. Does that make sense? So it's not like Josue as, like, if I lost everything and just became a janitor, that my entire life would go down in shambles. Shout out to all the janitors out there. We love you and need you.
We need you. Thank you for your service.
you know what I do?
That a lot.
I do too. I actually say, like when somebody says a career, then they're like, "Oh, I hate it." I'm like, honestly, better you than me. I don't think I could handle it like you can. Like I compliment them.
There's a lot of jobs stuff out there. All jobs are valuable and important.
Yes.
And a lot of the times people don't want to be in the service roles.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like dad, he's a prison guard. And like he told me that, I'm like, thank you for your service.
Yeah, man.
Like, I can't do that.
We need you out there.
We need them. Like, I mean, that's always, blue collar workers are the ones always in crisis. Like, there's barely anybody that wants to work in factories. Nobody wants to do these jobs, and it's like,
well, it's not just their fault. It's more of they're pricing people out and being greedy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's part of it.
But also, like, people, a lot of, like you're saying, associate their value with their job.
Yeah.
And then society looks down on it of like, oh, you work at Walmart, like, you're not ambitious. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they tie your whole thing to it. So it's like people don't want to do that stuff.
Yeah.
So then it's a two-edged sword, I think.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. But when it comes to, at least again for me, actually I don't want to let this go. As men, we have to tie, like, the first thing that God did to Adam was give him a job. Period.
That's true.
So we are tied. Our identity is tied to what we do.
To what you do.
It just is. And I think for women, it's tied mostly to who you relate to. Mostly, maybe, in terms of, like, I mean, obviously just you as an individual and you as an individual with God, but apart from that as the ultimate base, I think it's more relationship based for women. I don't know, but for guys, that's non-negotiable.
I can't the job is a huge thing, and it's like it gives you that sense of purpose.
Heck yeah, what?
No, I understand it. But it's kind of like, I just think, like, at the end of the day, our identities are just, we're children of God. And I think that's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Like, everything else is added onto, but
that's fair.
Like, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about identity crisis, are we talking about our identity as children of God, or the fact that all these other things in life?
I'm talking about the other things in life. Although our identity in Christ helps us, keeps us sane. throughout
in our
all of
other
it,
stuff, yeah.
and centered, and as our, like our baseline of loving, caring people, regardless of whether we're in the position where we want to be in a career wise or whatever it is. Like as I contemplate and move into something new, I find that it's really strange sometimes, like reinventing yourself. Like for example, I used to talk about rowing a lot.
Oh, yeah.
That it was just fun and enjoyable and whatnot, and even sailing, right?
Yeah.
But like as I get my sailing license, this is not really, has never been my people. I've like, usually people who sail have a lot of money. That's not really me.
Yeah, those are rich hobbies.
Yeah, those are rich hobbies. Not my people, not my scene. And I'm in my 30s. So getting in now feels like I'm getting in late. There are kids, there are teenagers with their sailing licenses who sail, who race and whatever. And then it's kind of, it kind of feels like, I mean, I'm just using it as an example, right? But it kind of feels like starting your freshman year of college as a 30-something-year-old next to a 17-year-old or an 18-year-old, and they're like, "Hello, unk," learning the same things. It's not a comfortable experience in a lot of cases. Is what I'm saying.
And you can't. Tú no puedes rendir. You can't. You don't have the same energy as them.
Same stamina. Yeah.
So it's like you have to work harder. I just think about the show The Rookie.
Yeah.
Where, like, he's a rookie cop and he's in his 40s. And, like, him learning how to maneuver that reality as that age, knowing he can't keep up. But I think that when it comes to reinventing ourselves, it can be challenging, even by the own people around us. Like we were talking earlier, like, people know you for something. And then let's say you start doing something else, and then people go like, "Oh, you've changed." And a lot of the times
real.
it's negative.
That's real.
It's like, well, just because you're not the same person that they've known you to be for a long time, then it's like, well, something's wrong with you. So then, like, if you hear that from a lot of people, it can be hard. And it's like, we need to talk more about freezing people in time and realizing that we're multifaceted people and that we change, right? And some changes are good, some changes are bad, but we got to stop holding people statically. Like, you won't be a video thingy forever, right? Like, I'm not going to say, "Oh, Josh, you changed. Like, is something wrong?" Like, it's just like...
Or not just you changed, but also, like, you're a failure in that area.
Exactly. Like,
that's, yeah.
Like, change doesn't always have to be because something bad happened.
Right.
It's like something good happened, right? Because, like, that's the whole thing that God's doing in us. He's changing us. Like, literally, like, our thoughts, our wants, like, all these things, he's, like, actively changing.
Yeah.
And what? Just... our friends, then I think Satan uses it like, well, you're changing. Like, we don't like you anymore. And then that's a temptation too. And then that's when I think we might fall into the fixed mindset. They're like, well, I got to stay like this forever if I want to fit in. Right.
And that also affects negative identities to where it's like, let's say you have a criminal background. Now everybody looks at you that way.
As a criminal.
And then you're like, well, I might as well just, fulfill their, just, what's the word I'm looking for here? Help me out.
Prophecy?
Yeah. Just kind of like fulfill the prophecy myself. Like, well, if they think of me that way, then you'll see me that way and kind of go about it that way. And that's bad because then we don't give people the room to grow.
Yeah.
I think I told you recently what I heard, which is that the church is the only place that shoots its wounded.
Yeah, you told me that.
Or that kills its wounded.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, no, that's weird. Or I should say that's real. So when it comes, and this, I mean, I didn't even think of this until you brought it up, but shedding negative identities is even harder.
It is harder.
Because no one, or I should say, few people have belief in you and be like, Josue, like, I knew you could do it. Or like invest in you, knowing, like, let's say you're an addict, or or whatever the addiction is, whether it's alcohol, drugs, whatever it is, like people don't look at you the same anymore, or they'll look down on you, and that's why a lot of times people are afraid to come out and be honest and be open about what they're struggling with, because what's going to happen is people are going to look down on me from now on, or it'll be like, well, look at you, like I don't trust you anymore around my wife, around
my
my
children,
kids,
yeah.
like I just don't trust you like that. Even if, like, let's say somebody came out of a 20-year prison bid, they haven't done the crime in 20 years.
Yeah.
They're still wearing the scarlet letter.
Yeah.
That's nuts. And that's something that I think maybe us as Christians should lead the way on.
Yeah.
In terms of, as Christ redeems us, we should be vessels of redemption for other people, or catalysts of redemption for other people, so that they can reinvent themselves and think, and like, I think Helen White writes this in Education. I can't remember the exact quote, but it's something along the lines of like, if whoever you're teaching doesn't have enough faith, you have enough faith for them so that they have enough faith in you, or something to that effect.
Yeah.
I was like, that could really help when it comes to shedding negative identities and whatnot.
And I think it's even harder to shed negative identities you have about yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
I think those are the biggest monsters, because a lot of the times, like you're saying, like, people don't believe in me, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. A lot of the time it's our inner dialogue too, that we are seeing reflected in others. It's like, you don't know what that person believes, right? You can only, like, their motives, their intent, all of that. Like, you don't really go into it. A lot of the times we're projecting our worst fears about our identity, and then saying, oh, other people see me as that too. True. Which is something to get rid of, that if you don't work on it starting young, now that as you get older, it becomes harder.
And harder. That's true. Not to mention that one of the concepts in psychology that I loved is neuroplasticity. And
I'm living, breathing of that.
You are?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, with my whole brain tumor, I had neuroplasticity. I was right-handed, and now I'm left-handed.
That's true.
Yeah. Probably right-brained, now I'm left-brained. I don't know. Like,
I don't know. That's an interesting thing.
There's a lot of things
but
that
you were
shift.
too young. Well, you were young, so that made a lot of sense.
Which makes sense. That's when you're a baby, that's when you experience
the most neuroplasticity.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking about, though, is that I don't think that we necessarily have lost it entirely in our 30s.
Oh no.
I think the more you exercise your brain, the better it gets at adapting to things. Like when I helped Eder Pastor Enclex, like there was a lot of stuff that I was like, I don't know anything about this, but the more I learn, the more that my brain's like, oh wait, like just waking up that part of me, because I haven't gone to school in so long.
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't even been that long. I did my master's in 23, I think, 24, 23.
I forgot.
Anyway, it's not the point. But that said, like when it comes to helping out, there's a lot of like things that woke up. I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't know what this word means. And then you just like, I mean, it's a completely different discipline. And then now that I'm transitioning into something else, it's like, okay, well, I can use that practice and that stress to put it towards my future. So what I'm saying is that when you're in your 30s or entering your 30s now, don't think like, oh, well, it's too late for me to go to school, or it's too late for me to learn a new skill. We're still kids. Like we're still young. We're super young.
Like even if we live till 70.
We're not even halfway there.
Yeah.
And even halfway there does not mean you're a child, like you're unk. I mean, okay, we may be unk, but we're not old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's just not the case.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if what I'm about to say is a lack of faith or not, but I've thought about, like, I mean, I'm in video production now more so, but I was like, God, if this fails, kind of like assuming that he's not gonna help me out here. I was like, well, maybe I'll go into like law school. Or I'll go into like the medical field somehow. And I was like, well, like I still feel like my brain can handle that stress to learn something new. Because I mean, I'm going to be graduating with what, like 22-year-olds and stuff like that.
That's fine.
But yeah,
but like
that's
you got
fine.
Life experience that they don't have.
Right.
Like all they know is school.
That's true.
And I think a lot of the times as we get older, we discredit everything we've learned along the way, and then we compare ourselves to these little kids. It's like, bro, like you're going in with an upper hand in the sense of like you got life, and also you're like a brainiac. So like getting into the school mode I wouldn't see it as hard for you.
No, no. I mean, after doing my master's, it was hard getting in, but just kind of stepping back in. But then once I did, I mean, truth be told, I finished 90% of it in like 6 weeks. But I did nothing else. I literally did nothing else in my life. I woke up and did that, and that was really dumb. But I mean, it wasn't really dumb. I'm really thankful for that. But I think part of the reinventing yourself, whether from a good reputation or from a good reputation to another one, or bad to a good one, or what have you, is the willingness to be dumb and to learn new things.
Learn new things.
Yeah, just be willing to be like, there's a quote, I can't remember it, but it's something along the lines of like, you can't be a master if you can't be a student, or something like that.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to be a student, or something to that effect. So like, you know, it's not going to be easy, and don't be afraid to look like the fool. So that's a huge part of it.
I think if we always consider ourselves as students in life, it'll be easier for us to cope with change.
That's true.
Because things are always changing. There's always new developments that you know nothing about. Like the kids slang these days. I don't know. What the heck is 6'7"? I don't know. I don't care, honestly.
Nope.
But we're always learning and just being open to the fact that things are changing. There are things that do become static in our life, and maybe some mannerisms that too can change, but like just routines and things in our life that, you know, you can make static and make your own, right? You're used to it.
Right.
But when it comes to life, when it comes to work, when it comes to people, like if we see ourselves as students, as with the curious mindset, I think it helps us cope with change. And God actually calls us to have a curious mindset when it comes in the lesson. I think it's Ellen G. White. She talks about it. It was the lesson about Paul. I mean, we're learning about Paul, but she talks about how as Christians we shouldn't. It's not about judging other people, like judging like motives and character, but more about Christian curiosity, like grace, as to like, like there's so many possible reasons why something can happen, and I think if God shows us how to do that more and more, and like when I read that, because like I'm a judgy person. Like that sounds bad, but like, you know, like I can read things and be like, oh, that's why it happened, and I think I have really good intuition, and sometimes most of the time it's true, but still, like I am learning not to lean on that anymore, but more about reach everything with curiosity. Like, you know what? That's my thought. If it's true, it's good. It's a game now.
Yeah.
Like, well, maybe that's what I think, but like, let's see. There's so many different factors.
It turns into proving yourself wrong.
Yeah, so many different factors, and that has allowed me to give more grace where it's given. And I'm not God. Only God knows the motives someone did something. Why something like when we think, oh well, that person did that thing for that reason, we're putting ourselves in the place of God. Like God told me that, like you can't do that. You can't do that.
Well, yeah, you can't go there definitively. That's not right.
And a lot of the times we do. Like even within like a conflict within relationships, family, friends, like romantic, we think we know the reason why someone did something, and it's you don't. The only person who knows for sure is God. So like approaching it with curiosity, life, people, I think that helps with the whole identity of yourself.
True.
And it gives grace to others, and by giving grace to others, I think it trains others to give grace to you.
I like that very much. And lastly, I think, how do we let God help us with shifting our identities to whatever season we're going through, would you say? Because for me, I would say if you don't have that anchor, think of it this way. If you're encapsulated in your identity in Christ, I think of it like a submarine where you can withstand a lot of pressure, but even in that identity, you can still go places and be stationed at different places, right? So it's not that you are separate from your identity with Christ, but the more that you step out of that, the pressure is going to crush you, right? And that and you can't go where you want to go because you're dead. So by enveloping our identity in Christ and being like, okay, well, I'm worthy of love, first of all. And that's probably another topic for another time. Feeling worthy of love.
We are.
That and feeling it through him allows us to give ourselves the grace to fail and to not feel like a failure when my business fails, when your business fails, when you fail out of nursing school or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, the more that we are anchored in Christ, the more pressure that we can sustain, and also the deeper that we can go in finding about ourselves and in helping others.
Yeah. I think for me, it's about letting God like take control, in the sense of, like, the song, "Make me a vessel," like make me an offering, So I think it's more of like let God, you do the work, and basing myself on the identity that He has for me that does not shake.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we all these aspects of life, but if I base it all on Him, I'm learning that everything else works. Like, like you're saying, you can withstand the pressure, and when things come, you have those affirmations in God. Like I say to myself, like, I'm fully known, I'm fully loved, I'm fully accepted by God. Like, and that's enough, and then what should I fear what men do for me? Like, I don't know what movie it is where it's like, I laugh at the face of danger, Like, we should be like that with God. Like, we do not need to fear. And I'm learning more of that. And I think that's how God is shifting my inner world. That's how
like that.
He is shaping my identity. I can do it. I can shape my own identity, but it's going to look wonky. It's going to look messed up. It's probably going to be a lot of comparing.
Fair.
So I think it comes to the point of, like, just surrendering it to God.
I like
for
that.
me.
I like that very much. Let's wrap up with a word of prayer, shall we?
Yeah.
Father in heaven, we thank you for your love and for loving us the way that you do. And Father, I specify the way that you do because all of us are unique and all of us need love in different ways. Jesus, I know a lot of us are going through a transitionary period, and that's affecting our mentals and how we see the world and our identity and how that affects everything. But Jesus, I pray that we put you at the center of it all, and that we see ourselves through you and our problems through that lens in return. Father, may we not be afraid of life. May we not be afraid of changes, because at the end of the day, we got the King of Kings on our side. So we have nothing to be afraid of and everything to be excited for. Be with us always and help us in our transitionary periods in life. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you for having spent time with us. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a like, and in the comments, let us know what you liked about it. Be sure to share this with a friend, and as always, we'll see you all next time.